Okay. So now where do I go? Yep. Okay. 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 Okay, so I have to have the agenda up to just do that, right? Okay, I might not do that, so hopefully everybody has their agenda. Okay. Mhm. Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you. Bye. Okay, thank you for your patience. Can anybody hear me?
I can hear you, Mike.
Okay, it looks like we have Brittany on, Jeff on, Roy on, a guest, and Jackie, I guess, is a guest. It looks like we need one more planning commission member for a quorum.
Deanne
Can you
Holhalter
hear
wasn't
me?
able to make it, and also Bud is not going to be able to make it tonight.
Okay.
Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, this is David.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3. So we have a quorum. And it is 6:30. Does everybody have the agenda or do I need to try to put it up there?
I do have it.
I do have it.
Okay. So instead of putting it on the screen, we'll go by it and try to keep with it. I'm running solo tonight, so hopefully I can get this figured out. Technology is not one of my strong suits.
Okay, so can we call this meeting to order? It is 6:33. And we can do a roll call. Roy Campos,
Here.
Tom Dolan. Do we have a absentee call in from Tom at all?
No.
No. And Deanne Holhalter, she's excused. Commissioner Matson,
Present.
Commissioner Moore here, Commissioner Rand,
Present.
and Bud Rogers was not able to come in tonight.
Okay.
So we have the minutes from the last meeting.
Oh, before we move on to that, can we have a motion to either excuse or not excuse the commissioners that are not at the meeting?
Yes, I spoke to Deanne today. She asked me to handle the meeting for her. She had a couple of family things tonight. So I make a motion to excuse Commissioner Holhalter.
I second that.
I did not hear from Mr. Tom Dolan.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to excuse all the other people that are absent for tonight because of the situation that we are doing this on by the phone, and you know, we'll just leave it at that for tonight, if that's fine, if there's a second on that.
I will second that. On that second topic, or on that topic, Mike, Bud Rogers apparently has been trying to get a hold of somebody. His expiration on his commission has expired, so he's not officially a commissioner right now unless he's reinstated by the council. So I believe that they've addressed the council, but I'm not sure on that.
Yeah, it was brought up last night at the council meeting, and they asked Jackie to look into it, and hopefully it'll be on the next council meeting if he needs to be reappointed.
Great, great.
Are we ready to vote on the motion?
Sure.
So there was a motion by Commissioner Rand to excuse all absences tonight due to the circumstances, and I seconded that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay? Okay, so a motion has been made to excuse the commissioners not present tonight.
Okay.
And we can move on to the minutes, I believe, for the July 14th Planning Commission meeting.
I move we approve the minutes as presented.
I'll second that.
I second that.
I'll have Commissioner Mattson as making a motion to approve the minutes for July 14th, 2020 Planning Commission, and Commissioner Rand has seconded that. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion to approve of the minutes of July 14th. Okay. Public hearing is now open. Staff, will you provide the report on the items?
Okay, this is a continuing discussion that we've had on accessory dwelling units. And the first ordinance we have here is basically amending the definitions. So we're adding accessory caretakers dwellings, accessory dwelling units, and also we're adding some other definitions we need to clarify. One being carport, one being front flanking yard, and I guess we're modifying carport. And this section is all definitions, and then as you see in the information we sent out in red are the changes that we are making. Are there any questions of staff?
No, I've actually read over it quite well, and I think the direction that you're going is in a good direction for Sunnyside. As a contractor, it kind of clarifies some of the questions that we've asked over the years. So I think it's going in a good direction.
I thought that all of the changes made perfect sense. The only term I didn't understand was front yard flaking.
I had a question on that as well. I wasn't sure what that was.
So basically that's for corner lot. What it does is on a corner lot, if you do the setbacks on both corners, that really pushes the house back against the side and rear. And if you allow on one of the lot sides a little less setback, so if the setback's 20 feet on the front, on the side, which is adjacent to the road, it could be 15 feet.
I just hadn't heard the term flaking before. That was all.
To be honest with you, I have not, but that's one that Aaron used, so I just continue to use it.
Okay.
Other than that, I thought all the changes looked great. I didn't have any other questions.
We actually have to, even though there's no one else called in, we actually have to open a public hearing and,
She opened the public hearing. We do,
Okay.
ask if anybody's on the Zoom meeting, if they have any comments. I don't see
think-
anyone else except staff and
Yeah.
Was there
members.
any public comments sent in by writing or email?
I did not receive any, no.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we had that on record.
Planning commissioners, any other questions for staff?
Britton, should we ask if there's any of the public that's on the Zoom meeting that would like to speak?
We can, but I think that Mike has access to seeing who's there. I've also read that they're supposed to write in or email in questions.
That's what I thought too. I just wanted to double check to make sure that nobody had called in as well.
I can certainly announce if there's anyone out there in the public that would like to come forward, please come forward now and state your name, just in case there's someone there that we don't know is there. And I don't think so. So
Okay.
if we don't have any other questions, we're open for debate or
do
comments.
we close the hearing first?
Yes.
Yes. So we're now closing the public hearing. And commissioners, you have any questions? We are open for debate or comments.
The only thing that I would like maybe to ask, since a couple other people has asked the question on the flanking, I have heard that term quite a bit, where they say that's basically on the side yard. But did anybody? I'm sure the attorneys wrote this up, so they must have know what the definition means, so that if somebody calls in and asks what that is, they would have a definition.
The attorneys did not write this up. It actually, Aaron wrote this up, I believe. And it's probably
Okay.
some planning information he received from maybe MRSC or other planning areas. So it's probably
Okay.
a term that's used, not necessarily in this area, but probably used.
Is that supposed to be
Yeah.
flanking or flaking?
Did I misspell it?
So mine say flaking.
That's what mine says.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's supposed to be an N in there. I think it is misspelled. I seen that too.
Okay.
I can make that change.
Good eye on that, Jeff.
Well, I heard you say flanking and I thought, oh, that makes more sense than the flaking.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and it, that didn't click in my head when everybody said that, but I just wanted to, kind of make that point that when that is on the corner, it's always the flanking side is usually the side yard, so that you can pull the house closer to the side and still have your offset on the front for your driveway and stuff. So if we could just get that wording changed and spelled right, if it's time to make a motion to approve it, I'd like to make a motion to approve it, and we can move on.
Okay, would anybody like to second that motion on changing the word from flaking to flanking?
I'll second it.
Okay, seconded by, was that Roy? You, Roy?
Yeah.
Okay, seconded by Commissioner Campos. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those who oppose? Okay. So there has been a change to the word in the ordinance on flaking to flanking. Flanking. Motion by Dave Rand and seconded by Commissioner Campos.
Approve this Exhibit A definitions at this point, or does that get included in the draft ordinance approval?
That would get this is an attachment to the draft ordinance. So the exhibit A is attachment to the draft ordinance, and that would be forwarded on.
Okay,
So we'll make the corrections before it goes on to council.
okay. So at this point, we were ready to make a motion to approve the draft ordinance definitions.
We just did approve that.
Okay,
So we're moving on to agenda item B, which is
Okay.
the, adding the actual wording or the regulations for accessory dwelling units and accessory caretakers unit. And I'll turn it over to the chairman for opening the public hearing.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, Mike? I'm getting a lot of extra noise. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Basically, the next one is a public hearing on the proposed draft ordinance amending chapter 17.04 to add sections for accessory dwelling units and accessory caretakers units.
Okay, so we'd like to open this up to the public hearing now on the item B, 4B, on considering the ordinance 17.04.100 and 17.04.110 to provide criteria for approving accessory dwelling units and accessory caretaking dwelling units. Commissioners, can you hear and consider this in a fair and objective manner? Yes.
Yes.
If your
Yes.
answer is no, please speak now. And if there's any audience members who are out there who object to my participation or any other commissioner's participation in these proceedings, please approach them. Please state your name and where you're from. Staff, can you provide information on this report?
Okay. There's two sections here that we're proposing to add to the Sunnyside Municipal Code. It's 7.04.100, which would be the criteria for accessory caretakers unit. And I won't read all of those. And then adding another section of 17.04.110, adding criteria for accessory dwelling unit. That's my comments, Mrs. Chairman. If anyone has any questions of me.
Commissioners, are there any questions or comments?
The only question I may have is where it states on number A where it can be up to 1,400 square feet. Are we going to evaluate the lot size and adjust the accessory dwelling per the lot size? Because it goes from 300 to 1,400 square feet. And on some of the lots in town, to get a bigger unit like that on there is going to be really squeezing it in, and that might, so are we going to consider the lot size and base accessory dwelling on the lot size?
Dave, I think you're looking at the caretaker unit size.
Exactly. That's what I meant, on the caretaker.
Our zoning ordinance has provisions for lot coverage in them, so it really depends on what zone it ends up being, how much they can cover the lot, and that will restrict the size of the unit.
Okay, that's going to be based on the R1, R2, and R3 then.
Right. Whatever zone, like the caretaker units is mostly commercial and industrial zones, but there is limits on the size, or limits on how much you can cover the lot.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
I do have a question on paragraph C on the caretaker unit. It appears to me that that's kind of limiting the residency to an owner or manager as opposed to a security type person or something. Is that the true intent?
That's the true intent. Basically, it's allowing a residential in there that's related to the business, not just a separate one that you can rent have people living in there. This is, somebody's gonna be the on-site guard, or they need somebody there overnight because of equipment or something.
Right.
That's what this provision's for.
But
It's not to allow basically apartment for any kind of rental.
Right,
use.
but paragraph C specifically says owner or manager. It doesn't say another employee providing service to the business such as security or something like that.
I agree with that, Jeff. I didn't catch that on that. Right, that should say an employee of the business. So that if we'll just use a refrigeration plant or something, that has refrigeration, if somebody has to be there to watch that refrigeration on a slaughter shop or a butcher shop, for example, the owner's not always going to be there. He's going to have an employee doing some of that stuff. And I don't think the manager is going to be, the only one that's going to want to be there. So yeah, Jeff, I see what you're saying on that. That's really limiting who could be there.
But I do agree it needs to be somebody to the business, not just any old person off the street renting a place.
Okay,
Oh, exactly. They should pertain to the business.
Okay, so I'll
An
close
employee.
I'll close the public hearing so that we could make a motion. If someone wanted to make a motion to add the word employee to number C on Exhibit A, in addition to.
Oh, okay.
Owner and
Yeah, well,
manager.
I didn't realize the public meeting was still open. So
No, that's okay. I was just going to close it. There's no one out there, so I figured we'll just, this way we can
okay.
jump into that if we need to.
Like amend it to where it says, all of the places it says owner or manager, say owner, manager, employee, or agent.
I will second that change.
Okay, so a motion has been made to change some verbiage on item C, Exhibit A, to anywhere it says manager or owner, to add an employee or agent in the verbiage. And that was motioned by Commissioner Rand and seconded by Commissioner Mattson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, motion has been made to change the verbiage in item C, Exhibit A.
we would need a motion to approve the actual ordinance also.
Okay.
Correct.
I'll make a motion to approve the actual ordinance of. Oh,
And I will second that. I will second that motion to approve Exhibit A ordinance.
okay.
Just to clarify, I think what we really are wanting to do is we're recommending approval of the ordinance to the council,
For the
correct?
council.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So Dave, do you want to restate
Correct.
that for me?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to send it over to council with the changes that we've made. Is that the right way to say it?
Yes, and I will second that. So a motion has been
Okay.
made to have our changes approved by City Council on Exhibit A 17.04.100, item C.
Actually, it's the whole ordinance, right, Dave?
The whole ordinance.
Yes, the whole ordinance.
All those in favor, say aye.
I have a question first. I just want to make sure nobody has any questions on Exhibit B that has the definitions for the accessory dwelling unit. That all look okay to you, Dave?
Yeah, that all looks good to me on that side.
Okay. I didn't have any
Yeah, I'm-
questions.
Okay.
So everything looks good on that, so I will still stand by my motion.
Okay, commissioners, any other questions before we make that final motion? Okay. So a motion has been changed, has been made by Commissioner Rand and seconded by Moore to send off to City Council to have the verbiage and the changed and the my words are gone.
The verbiage.
The
Ordinance?
the ordinance approved. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion has been approved. Okay. And Mike, as far as the agenda goes, we are down to item number C, section 4, correct?
Yes. Another public hearing.
Okay. Public hearing is now open. Staff, can you provide items on this report?
Okay, the first two ordinances we looked at provided definitions and then criteria for accessory dwelling units and accessory caretakers units. So this ordinance and the next one are actually putting them into the zoning codes as permitted uses. So in this one, the accessory dwelling units will be a permitted use in the residential agricultural zoning district, the low density residential zoning district, the low density manufactured home zoning district, the medium density residential zoning district, and the high density residential district. And on that, the high density residential district, the accessory dwelling unit will be only allowed as a accessory unit to a single family dwelling, not to an apartment.
Okay.
Yeah.
If there's any persons in the audience wish to be heard, please state your name and where you're from. Don't think there's anyone out there. Planning commissioners, do you have any questions?
Did staff receive any comments on this issue, Mike?
No, sir.
Questions or comments?
Okay, I will close the public hearing now. And commissioners, if we have any else to debate on this or any other things we'd like to ask staff, we can do that now.
I would make a motion that we recommend the proposed ordinance adding accessory dwelling unit as a permitted use in the residential agricultural zoning district, low density residential zoning district, low density residential / manufactured housing zoning district, medium density residential zoning district, and high density residential zoning district to the council for approval.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, so a motion has been made to accept accessory dwelling unit as a permitted use in residential agriculture zoning district, low density residential zoning district, low density residential manufactured housing zoning district, medium density residential zoning district, and high density residential zoning district, and was seconded by Commissioner Rand. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those who oppose? Okay, so a motion has been made to accept that. Item C, number 4, public hearing on the accessory dwelling units. Okay. Now to item D. Staff, can you provide, the public hearing is now open. Staff, can you provide any items on this report?
Okay, this is a ordinance that would provide the accessory caretaker unit and as a permitted use in the three-way commercial zoning district, the general commercial zoning district, the retail core zoning district, the light industrial zoning district, and the heavy industrial zoning district, and the public facilities zoning district. So those are the commercial and industrial and public districts that would allow a caretaker facility to be built along with a business or a manufacturer or whatever. And that's my comment. Chairperson, more?
If there's anyone in the audience wishing to speak on this matter, please state your name and where you're from. Commissioners, do you have any questions regarding item D?
I have no questions.
And the staff received no comments on this item
We
either.
did not receive any comments on this proposed ordinance.
I have no questions.
Any questions, Commissioner Matson? Okay, I will close the public hearing. Any additional debate, commissioners, or questions for staff?
I move we recommend to the council approve the proposed ordinance adding accessory caretaker unit as a permitted use in the freeway commercial zoning district, general commercial zoning district, retail core zoning district, light industrial zoning district, heavy industrial zoning district, and public facilities zoning district.
I'll second that.
Okay, so a motion has been made for item D, number 4, to be forwarded to City Council for approval. For freeway commercial zoning district, general commercial zoning district, retail core zoning district, light industrial zoning district, heavy industrial zoning district, and public facility zoning district. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those who oppose? Okay, motion has been made. Okay, and down to item E, workshop discussion. And I don't think I opened that up for public hearing, do I, Mike?
No, this was just for discussions for the information that I presented to you. And this is basically chapter 8 of the existing comprehensive plan. And I've marked it up. Maybe I'll just give you generally what I've done. One is where we make specific references to certain chapters. I just eliminated that because what we run into is the state's always changing chapters and they'll change chapter numbers. And so we may say this is the ones that apply today and next year it'll be different numbers. So all I say is 3670A, which is the whole chapter on the first page. And then timing, I'm trying to cut it down to where when we look at the comprehensive plan, it'll be once a year and it'll start in January of each year. We can take applications throughout the year, but we'll only start the process in January. It's January 1st, so if we get any applications up to then, we'll consider them in that year's packet. And then under adoption and initiation, just let me know if I'm going too fast or you're not following it. We have
Can I interrupt just a
Sure.
second? I'm getting a little bit of feedback from somebody else's background noise or something. I'm having a hard time hearing part of the time. Commissioner Rand, do you have some background noise in your location?
No, sir.
Okay.
I'm getting a lot of computer scratchy noises on mine. I don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah, I asked about Commissioner Rand because his box keeps lighting up like, and so I don't know, it must be feedback on the line or something. Okay.
Yeah, it went away.
Good.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. Down below on page 8-2, it has a fee in there. The fee is usually set by the city council through a resolution, another ordinance, so I removed it out of the comp plan. And then more discussions on the fee and length of time. And then public hearing, basically that's required by state law, so that's controlled there. It says prior to initiating the 60-day comment period. Normally it depends on the amendment, how long that takes. So to say it's before the 60-day comment period, not necessarily. Sometimes we do it early, so by the time it gets to the planning commission, that comment period is already done, and you get the comments. Okay, on page 8-4 is the planning commission recommendation. So basically, you would just make a recommendation. I took most of that other stuff out there, and basically it says you'll make recommendations and do findings of why you made that recommendation. Okay. And then on page 8-5, basically eliminating, we don't have to send 5 copies to Commerce anymore. All we do is email it to them. And all they want is a form and the actual wording. They don't want a lot of the other stuff also. So they're kind of streamlining too. So that's what we're going to do. And basically the same thing on the within 10 days, we email it to them, and then we publish a notice in the record of the newspaper. Any appeal processes, I kind of, with the state appeal process, I've eliminated out of here. The reason being is they continue to change. Like on page 8.5, it says Eastern Washington Growth Hearing Board. It does no longer exist. There's just one growth hearing board in Washington now. So we're going to leave that blank. So if somebody wants to appeal our decision, they'll go to the current state law to determine how to appeal it. And that's how you notice the next 2 pages I've removed that appeal process. And then 8-8, I left that alone. That's kind of the standards to determine whether it will approve an amendment to the comprehensive plan or not. And that would be kind of your findings that you would make as you go through the process. And that's all the changes I have in that chapter. And when I started on this chapter, just because it's short and sweet and easy to, to make comments on, I would open it up if anyone has comments. I'm not looking for a decision tonight. This is more introduction to give you a chance to look it over and think about it. Please be critical if there's a section in here you don't understand that we need to look at to rewrite it or something so it's understandable. The reason being is I want anybody to be able to read this, understand what we're intending, what's going on. Any comments, questions?
I would definitely like a little more time to look over that, if we could, until the next meeting at least.
Yeah, normally what I'll do is I'll give you a section a couple weeks before this meeting, kind of go over at this meeting to see if you have any questions, and then we'll continue, and then the next meeting we'll have actual comments, try to put it into the final form. And then at the end, when we do all the chapters, we'll actually look at the whole thing again to make sure it's all consistent across and that'll probably be about a 2-month process.
Okay.
I'm comfortable with the draft changes.
Makes it a lot easier to read, a lot easier to understand. A lot of
Yes.
people don't know where to even go with a lot of these other committees and trade and economic developments and all of that. That just, yeah, I think you did a good job on this one.
Hopefully, it'll do a good job on the next one, but I won't guarantee because they'll be a little bit more complicated and probably be a lot more changes. The reason being is a lot of it, we're updating the information, and the information in the current one's from probably about 2005. There's quite a few changes that will take place, so you'll see a lot of red marks.
Okay.
Okay.
That's my comments on that one.
Item F, public presentation plan recommendation.
Yeah, this is the public participation plan that I gave to you last month. I'm just looking for maybe a formal recommendation to the board and on the city council. It doesn't require a public hearing. It's just a recommendation from the planning commission. Are there any questions or?
Commissioners, do you have any questions on that for Mike?
No, I read that over pretty good. And I understand it pretty good. So are you wanting us to make a motion so that you could send this over to the city council, Mike?
Sure, that would be appreciated.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to send, let me get back to the front page here. I'd like to make a motion to send the public participation plan of the City of Sunnyside Comprehensive Plan Evaluation Updated Project to the City Council for their review and whatever they want to do to pass that motion or to pass this draft.
I will second that. So a motion has been made for the public presentation plan to be sent over for city council to approve. And that was made by Commissioner Rand. Moore seconded that. All those who oppose, or all those in favor say aye.
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 Anyone oppose? Okay. A motion has been made and approved. Public comments. I don't think we've got anyone out there in the public.
Nope.
Commissioners, do you have anything that's not on the agenda? Any additional items from staff?
Yes, I have a few of them here.
Okay,
One of them, the next meeting of the planning commission was scheduled for September 8th, but we're being bumped because the 7th is a holiday and the council meeting that was supposed to be on the 7th got moved to the 8th. And so we're getting moved too. So I would suggest maybe doing it the 15th, which is the following Tuesday, if the members would be available.
okay, that shouldn't be a problem for me at all.
I'm available.
Should be fine.
Should be okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so we'll have to let Tom Dolan and Deanne and Bud know about that meeting.
Okay, I'll send out something to them real shortly. On last night at the council meeting, there was a discussion about wireless communication facilities. And the council voted to send to the planning commission to ask you to look at and establish and review a procedure for accepting and evaluating wireless applications that would meet the requirements of 6409A of the Spectrum Act, and then prepare a report for the council on the viability of 5G technology being deployed in Yakima Valley, specifically given that 5G technology will not fix the rural broadband issue and deployment will have its own issues. So that'll, something we'll probably discuss in September. What I'm proposing for that one is, the city of Top Mesa just recently adopted an ordinance related to 5G. Antennas and such. And the issue, the biggest issue with those is that they want to put them on city right of ways, connect them to light poles or telephone poles or anything, or, you know, so they're, the old ones, you know, they'd be up on the hill or out in, around the town, whereas now they need to put these like right through downtown, or so they'll be more visual, and they'll be a lot of times on the city right of way. So the ordinance has to be a little different than we have for the old towers and monopoles.
Or these compare, they must be a lot smaller size-wise than
Yeah,
what we're used to
Yeah.
seeing.
yeah, because basically they're, you know, maybe 3 feet by a foot. I mean, they're really small panels, and whereas, you know, on the larger ones, you see the wire whip, which is like 8 to 10 feet, and they're narrow, and they need like 20 of them. And yeah, it's a whole different thing. The issue with 5G is they're smaller, more compact, but they need more of them. Instead of one tower covering the city, it needs to be 50 towers that they have to have. The idea is that the closer they are, the quicker that your phones or your equipment will jump from one to the other, and your data will continue to stream.
Or they can track you by telling what tower you're close to.
I have no comment on that, but yes, that's true. That's actually, there's data out there that the Yakima Valley Conference of Governments getting on people's movement, and it's been very useful in trying to figure out where to do traffic improvements and stuff, because they can see where you slow down and speed up and where the congestion points are. Okay. And the one other one I had, and this came up tonight, is on my staff memos. When I submit them to you, would you appreciate having a draft motion on those? I used to
I think
spend,
that's useful.
I just put a motion that you can actually read if you want to approve it, or if you want to deny it, I'll put both of them there.
I
Yes,
think
that'd
that's
be great.
useful.
Okay.
Yes.
I do have one thing, Mike. I think I mentioned at the last meeting that like the day of the meeting, my email had got messed up and my password wasn't working anymore. And you were going to have somebody get a hold of me and help me through that. And
He hasn't yet?
I haven't heard from anyone. No.
Okay, I will talk to him again.
Thank you.
Did it work okay that I sent out an email early and then actually delivered the packet for you?
That was great. Thank you.
I never was able to access the email, so you delivering the packet to me was very helpful.
Okay, well, I'll still try to do that, and I'll get Denton to get a hold of you, Jeff, and fix your.
Okay, thank you.
That's all the comments I have, Chairman.
Commissioners, any other comments or questions? Okay, we can adjourn this meeting. It is 7:17. Meeting adjourned.
Okay,
All right. Thank you, everybody.
thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a good night, guys.
Night, everyone.
Good night.